Hi there, my name is Madeline Taylor, and I'm a digital content coordinator at the University of Toronto and one part of the Communications and Public Affairs team at the Faculty of Arts and Science. I began doing higher ed communications work while I myself was still a student. This unique transition was beneficial to me and my work because it made, and still makes, it very easy to connect with students and understand their experiences. At the time, I lived the student experience daily. I knew what I wanted to see from my university, what information I wanted to be privy to, and how I wanted to see that content delivered to me. I was also familiar with the experiences of my friends. We frequently discussed our trials and tribulations as students, and what we wanted and sometimes needed from our university emails, websites, and social media. What I'm going to be focusing on throughout this talk is how you can use multimedia storytelling to engage students, foster community, and ultimately share vibrant stories of your campus and the incredible things that happen there. To begin, let's define what multimedia storytelling might look like in the context of this presentation. Multimedia storytelling is a method of communicating a story, or in the higher education sector, a way of explaining process or navigational information that combines photos, videos, graphics, text, and/or audio to build a fulsome communication experience. Of course, not all multimedia projects will include every type of media available to you or your audience. However, strategically pairing media together in a complementary way can improve your messaging in a variety of ways. The first is an increased ability to communicate across multiple platforms. Best practices might differ depending on the institution. We all have different demographics, size, and specialties, but every university has websites, emails, and active social media platforms. With multimedia storytelling, you can tailor content for specific platforms while communicating a consistent and complementary message across various channels. A few photos and a handheld video clip can be leveraged to create a small creative campaign for something that is normally communicated quite plainly. One example I can share was a small photography project to support communications regarding an upcoming exam period. We recognized a gap in our photography content, mainly that we didn't have a lot of exam-related digital media that was created in-house. I was able to change that with some quick creative thinking, and I never had to leave our office building. A perk, since it was a December exam period and quite chilly outside. With a University of Toronto Scantron sheet, I was able to stage an exam scenario in a hallway, and in a matter of minutes, had enough material to create visual content for Twitter, Instagram, email reminders, and our website. We took about 30 photos and a few short video clips that were later turned into GIFs, since we have learned that GIFs generally help our tweet performance. This project required a student volunteer, a camera capable of photo and video, and a staff member to use the camera. In this case, that was me. These photos and GIFs were paired with graphics that were designed in-house, detailing our tips and tricks to a successful exam period and then shared across multiple channels. With no budget, we were able to create a multimedia story that included photo, video, and infographics that was tailored to the University of Toronto student experience. It is human nature to react more favorably towards something that is familiar to us, and you can leverage this knowledge when planning digital media creation. Seeing content that was created on campus with students using tools that are familiar, in this case the U of T branded Scantron, communicates more to students than just exams are coming up. It quietly communicates that the university is engaged with its students and helps to foster a sense of trust between students and the communications that are created for them. The second benefit of multimedia storytelling is more creative communications. This is really the fun part of digital storytelling. Using more than one medium to communicate opens so many doors to creativity and makes your content more engaging. Just like most people have a preferred learning style, everyone has preferences about how they become informed. For example, as a super imaginative person, I love reading the book before seeing a film adaptation. But for every me, there is someone who prefers to skip the book entirely. When you integrate different types of media into your digital content creation, you are developing communications that are naturally engaging to a wider audience while fostering a relationship with your audience that says you can come here to find information that speaks to you. I'm going to take a wild guess and assume that most would rather use a website that has photos and text versus a website that is exclusively text. This is an example of multimedia use that we can all relate to. Photos help communicate the story the text is telling, and the great thing is that you don't have to stop at photos. Even your most information-heavy, process-driven web pages can be brought to life if you harness the power of multimedia storytelling. The beauty of post-secondary communications, and especially communications that are student-facing, is that there's a story behind everything because our communications are for people. Intelligent, awesome, engaged people who live, study, and innovate at our campuses. Everything about their experiences, from group study sessions, cups of coffee grabbed with friends, an exam that didn't go well, a favorite professor, an in-class presentation, are stories, big and small, that can be leveraged to communicate information, provide insights, give advice, and help incoming students navigate their university journey. Gaining access to these stories, which adds depth and relatability to the content you are producing, is a matter of relationship building. From my experience as a student, there were only a handful of times I was asked about my experiences or things I wanted to see from my university. And one of the times I was asked about my opinions was a life-changing experience that ultimately led me here. Students want to share their stories and help make the student experience better for the classes of students after them. As higher ed communicators, we are uniquely positioned to make that happen. The relationships my team has cultivated with a group of students within the faculty who are eager to appear on camera for photo and video projects have greatly improved our storytelling. Some of these students have been recommended to us by professors, administrators, and others are work-study students already invested in the student experience and campus life. All of them have given my team the opportunity to capture authentic experiences through photo, interview, and video. An example of how we've done this is captured in a video we call A Day in My Life, which recently received a Gold Quill Award from IABC. This piece was created with students in more ways than one. We reached out to students we had already built strong relationships with and asked them what their days looked like on campus, explaining our desire to capture an authentic arts and science experience. Our students delivered. We were taken into dorms, taken to favorite coffee shops, we met friends, sat in on lectures, and as a result, our cameras were able to document real student experiences. This project was completed with 3 pieces of equipment: a mirrorless camera for video, a handheld gimbal, and a second camera to capture photos of the moments as they were being filmed. 2 staff members were involved in the shoot days, myself on video, and a colleague who worked our designated photo camera. This was another project that was completed with almost no budget, music being an exception as we paid a small licensing fee for the song. We used the camera equipment we already had access to and emphasized cinematic visuals versus visuals and audio to simplify our shoots. Okay, so we made a video. You might be thinking, that isn't necessarily multimedia storytelling. Well, the video from these shoots were used for the day in the life video, but the photography from our shoot days were used to create a print piece that is one of the highlights of our 2020 welcome guide for incoming students. Each student's story that was told in the Day in the Life video was repurposed for print to give incoming students insight to what their days might look like once on campus. Beyond this print piece, these photos can be seen on our various websites, emails, and social media channels because they are so useful for communicating information and sharing resources related but not limited to residents, academics, social events, and campus life. By learning about, capturing, and featuring real student experiences, we allow possibilities of connection. Students feel connected to the campus and to other students because they share experiences that unite them. Professors, alumni, donors, and even parents feel connected because many of these experiences are not exclusive to time or place. Students have been studying together, writing exams, exploring campuses since universities existed. This fosters community not only on campus, but within a wider audience that, when consuming your communications, is encouraged to feel, remember, or hope for their own university narratives. Multimedia storytelling gives power to these stories, allowing them to be told across multiple platforms and experienced through a variety of mediums. Whether you are trying to communicate an upcoming deadline or share the benefits of an opportunity your school offers its students, finding the story behind your message will make your media more impactful. They say a picture is worth 1,000 words, so imagine what your story might be worth to your audience if they had access to both. Thank you so much for listening.